Hello everyone, Johnny Minder here, and today we are continuing to learn Japanese with Pokémon Snap. Last time we got a new item from Professor Oak, the Pester Ball, Iya Iya Boru in Japanese. We replayed the fourth course with it, and so unlocked the fifth course. Also played that. But we went through only the camera check, and so today we'll start with Professor Oak's check, and then from there what happens next we'll see soon enough. And yeah, without further ado, let's start. Load our save state, and yeah, as you can see, we added the professor, doctor, marks, also an album mark for this one, but yeah, we have to go to the professor and do the professor's check. We'll see if there are new writings also here. Yeah, of course, didn't want to keep it anyway, but yeah, since it's actually not Bulbasaur as we know from last time, yeah, we'll keep the actual one and better one. Yeah, we have Grimer. Yeah, nothing new, but luckily yeah, Subarashi, and so wonderful. We have Mac, almost perfect size. Yeah, not the best pose since it's turned around. We're seeing it from the side. But yeah, still luckily enough to get another Subarashi. Now we have Ditto in its actual form. Not the best size. But yeah, since we gave it an apple, here it says, actually I'm pretty sure we have seen it before for other Pokemon, but it's short, we'll go through it again. O, first and foremost, again the usual exclamation, just like O in English. And then Yorokondo Ruso from Yorokobu, the verb which means to rejoice. That's the closest translation, because then you could also translate it as to be delighted, glad, and so on. But yeah, this is in Japanese a verb, not an adjective. Of course, it's a verb gotten verb, so to make that a form, we can't clearly see it here, but we have to make that a form. We can see it because of further conjugation and contraction. To make that a form, we have to follow the rules. It's in bu, so it becomes de. Again, most likely first the continuative form be, and then the ifel. But since it's in bu, it's worth mentioning that the voiced consonants in Japanese, in classical Japanese, they used actually to be nasalized, so mbu, and so in our case mb after the ifl and so simply remain the nasal and then we got the voicing, and so actually prenasalization and voicing of the te, and so de. Nowadays luckily written as it's much easier as the individual kana, the moral nasal, and then de. Then we would have to add here oru to make the te oru form, just like teiru, because oru is simply the humble form of iru. Both iru and oru on their own mean to be, as in to exist, for animate things, and so people and animals. But after that form, it becomes a continuous action or state. And yes, and then it would be de oru and becomes contracted into doru. Last but not least, we have zo, the final sentence particle, usually made term or language, adds force, or we could say also simply emphasis. And yeah, I think we've seen, if not exactly this, something similar, but it was still worth mentioning. And yeah, so that's why we get more points, because it's rejoicing. And yeah, we have also not much, but slightly of a companion, a second ditto. This won't go well, the coughing one. Yeah. Unfortunately, not a great size, because of course we only have a part of the Pokemon. This one I'm curious, the Whipping Bell in this state. Barely enough, apparently, the size. The pose also works. And yeah, so we get actually a Subarashi. This one should be pretty good, 3x1. Okay. And as expected, it is. Last but not least, we have a Jinx. Good size. Actually, also good pose. And also the technique. So yeah, still wonderful. And yeah, we get a Korewa because we have a special picture. And we get points for the special category. And so yeah, this is completely new, so we have to go through it. Luckily it's easy, since it says, well, of course, the usual parts that start O, Korewa, literally O, again O, Korewa, literally as for this, and then the part in yellow, which we'll check in a second, and last but not least, Janaika, so the copula in the negative, and ka, the interrogative particle. In this case, not to make an actual question, but if it isn't it? Well, if it isn't that, which is Purin no on stage. First and foremost, we have Purin, of course, again, the Japanese name of Jigglypuff. We've seen it last time. Then we have no, the possessive particle of Jigglypuff. And last but not least, we have on stage. And yeah, literally on stage from English. curious if I can find the accents of these on their own. Well, on stage on its own, I doubt it. Yeah, on would be accented. I might still try to search for it. Yeah, actually, I could find it in the dictionary, but yeah, it simply stays on stage because it's literally that from English. Stagey on its own is accented on the T as expected, just like in English. Stagey. Notice, well, of course, the lengthening of the vowel makes sense since we in English we would have a, and so it becomes a long e in Japanese instead. And last but not least, of course, su with the u barely heard if at all because it's between unvoiced consonants. So stagey, yeah, closer to stage like in English. And yeah, so the accent for on stage is simply just like for stage, on the T, on stage. Yeah, so quite simple. Of course, here it says again, if it is Jigglypuffs on stage, and then of course it has as for its value there is it has a value of 500 points. And yeah, so we get those extra points. Unfortunately, a little small, but it worked. Then we get this new for the pause. It says O, again the usual exclamation, and then Kimochi yoku utatte oru. First and foremost, we have Kimochi here further conjugated, but let's start with the base form, of course. We have Kimochi. I think we have seen it before, not maybe in this series, but in a previous one at the very least for sure. Kimochi is a compound noun, unaccented on its own. Well, as the compound, it comes from ki, unaccented also, which means spirit, mind, heart, and several other extended meanings. In this case, the best translation would be mood, feelings. Again, ki, you might have heard it in Japanese martial arts, in Chinese ones as qi because of further changes in the Chinese language, but it's the same word. And then we have this mochi. Would be accent on the last syllable, which makes sense because it comes from a verb, an accented one, and so it follows the rules. Motsu, which means to hold, and several extended meanings, but yeah, the fundamental one is to hold in one's hand, but also as to possess, and so on. To make, we then make it's a verb because I'm verb, so we can change the u into it to make the continuative form, and so the corresponding noun, like in this case, mochi, so having, or better, the fundamental meaning holding, and so, yeah, by extension also having or possessing, and so on. So in this case would be holding or possessing, even better, mood, feeling, or better, feeling mood that one has. And so yeah, actually kimochi means is the word usually used in Japanese for feeling, sensation, mood, state of mind, by extension also preparedness, readiness, quite useful as a humble word as for thought, sentiment, consideration, also when making gifts, giving a present to someone. But yeah, the fundamental meaning, feeling. And then we have I, the usual adjective, which means good. So yeah, literally this expression, kimochi I, by the way, I accented, and so even though it's not present here, the accent most certainly should be also considered that kimochi on its own is unaccented. It should be on the adjective instead. So kimochi I or yoi in its original form. I is used, is the most common one when used on its own without further conjugation. But when we have to change it, we go back to yoi. Like in this case, we drop the I and add ku to make the adverbial form. And yeah, in this case, literally an adverb. And so, literally a feeling well, and then the verb. As a better translation, of course, less literally would be pleasantly, comfortably, yeah, also, of course, by extension, willingly, readily. But yeah, the fundamental meaning, again, literally, feeling good, kimochi. And so yeah, the adverb becomes in a feeling good way, and so yeah, pleasantly, and so on. Last but not least, we have the verb. Of course, quite utatte, and then of course we have then again also oru, because we have again the teoru form. But yeah, first and foremost, we have utau, which is the verb which means to sing, unaccented, there's also, in this case, the corresponding word is simply uta, accent on the last syllable, so be careful. And yeah, that means song. But in this case, we have the verb with this additional u, to sing. And then it's a verb, golden verb, so to make that a form like in this case, we have to follow the rules. It's in u, so it becomes double consonant te. Again, as a reminder, because it was actually originated, the verbs in u were in fu, or better in pu. So then they made the continuative form p, the I fell, and so utapte, difficult to pronounce, becomes simply a double consonant and te. And then, yeah, again we had oru, and so continuing action, in this case is singing simply. It's sing, and so yeah, it says it, the Jigglypuff implied, is singing pleasantly, or one of the other translations of Kimochi Yoku, we've mentioned them before, but yeah, they're all closely related to that. And yes, that's why we are getting more points for the pose. Yeah, the technique, of course, the Pokemon is in the middle of the photo. We get more points because there's an additional Jigglypuff. And yeah, so we get a Subarashi. And yeah, we get our results. And also a Jitsuwana, of course, as you might have expected. And yeah, so we'll go now back to the laboratory, as it says also here, and we'll see what Oka has to say to us. The usual Ya Okairi. Again, we have Ya as an hello there, hi, also Yo in other contexts. But yeah, here I'd say more hello there. And then, of course, Okairi, the shortened form of Okairi Nasai, and so the greeting when someone comes back home, well, in our case, of course, back to the lab. This, I think we've seen before, when we, again, I'll quickly translate it at least. If it isn't that you are working hard, again, all the usual translations of Gambaru, if you aren't keeping at it, doing your best, even better. And then we have that Nakanaka, very considerably, and so on. And yeah, so if it isn't that you are doing your best, doing your very best, we could also translate. And then, of course, at the end, the name of our protagonist. And yeah, again, it says to try and choose Kosu ni iku, literally the option on the top left. Again, we see this Te Goran form, Temiru, but in the honorific form. Yeah, so simply we, as you might remember, this is what Ox said before we unlocked a new course. And yeah, so we unlocked a new course. And yeah, as it says here, if it's Toru, even the next place should be it's okay, so we can go there. Our usual yatta from our protagonist. And yeah, we have our next course, which is, as you can see here, it's called Ke Koku. Again, as a reminder, EI, most now read it as long E, could still be heard as K from some. But yeah, this is the name of our course. As you might remember in English, if you have played this before, it's called Valley. And yeah, so it's still Valley in Japanese. it's interesting because I expected it to be simply called Tani. Accented on the last syllable. As that's the most common way to say valley in Japanese. Instead, here we have a compound, a Chinese compound, as you might have guessed. The koku at the end is the Chinese reading of the kanji for valley. Tani is the strictly Japanese reading. We use this Chinese compound, luckily unaccented as per the rule, or at least tendency. To say that this is a valley, gorge, ravine, but it's interesting because also the dictionary says that it's a valley in between brackets with a river running through it. And that's actually the perfect description for the valley we'll visit, because we have this river, as you can see also here in the picture on the top right. And so I guess they used this term to further specify that aspect. Then of course, last but not least, we have what our protagonist says. Nagare no hayaso na kawada dazo. First and foremost, we have Nagare. We should have seen it before in this very series because of the river of the fourth course, as you can see, Riba on this very screen. Because Nagare is the continuative form, so the corresponding noun of the verb Nagareru. Actually accented, so Nagareru, which means to stream, to flow. Other extended meaning, but the fundamental ones are to stream, to flow. It's a ru verb, it's done verb, so to make the continuative form, like in this case, we have to drop the ru. And so Nagare is stream, flow, current. Then we have here the possessive particle no, and so connecting it and modifying the following noun. Actually, no, sorry, in this case, it's a good thing we have seen this, because this is a peculiar usage of no, because as you might notice, after that we have an adjective, hayaso. Well, first and foremost, haya, and so our adjective is hayai. We've studied the kanji of one of those hayai. I think we have studied the kanji in a previous series. That one usually means early. This one is the other one, the one with the other kanji, and so the meaning fast, quick, and so on. Both accented, so that doesn't change. Then we have this after it, hayai, so an e adjective, but we drop the e and add so, here stylized with the I'm not sure if it's called like that, tilde, like tilde. But that which first and foremost, of course, serves to mark the length of the vowel, just like the usual long vowel mark. But yeah, now usually you would write it in this case with an U, and so U becomes long so. We use this instead because, of course, it, as you might guess from it being like a wave, it simulates the tone in which it would be pronounced. So, hayasona, giving more emphasis to it. But yeah, it's actually simply the usual so we've already seen, an auxiliary, which means has the appearance of, it looks like, and so on. So yeah, it looks fast in this case. What looks fast? The stream, the flow we have seen before. So yeah, and then after the so, as usual, it's an adjective, and so we had the na in this case to connect it to the following noun, kawa. We've seen it before again for the river, I'm pretty sure, because it's the Japanese term for river, stream. It's an accent on the last syllable, sorry. There's also a variant, but for kawa, when as a suffix, it seems. I'll quickly check also on the physical dictionary because of that. Yeah, I got the physical dictionary because potentially also considering that even that dictionary, the online one plus plugin combo, said that it was as unaccented as gawa, and so as a suffix. It most likely is one of those suffixes. Yeah, that makes the word, when you attach it to the name, in this case usually of the river, it makes it always unaccented, so easy to remember, luckily. We have seen that there are other rules also for potentially for these suffixes. But yeah, this is one of those that make the word unaccented, just like, for example, go, the one you attach to names of countries to make the corresponding languages. Unfortunately, English is an exception because we have, it becomes ego. We have so it's actually simply a Chinese compound, technically. A regular Chinese compound of two kanji. But yeah, other ones we have, of course, Nihongo from Nihon, Japan, plus go, Japanese. Italia, Italia go, Italian, as in the language. Yeah. Just as a reminder, because I mentioned it before. But yeah, gawa as a suffix becomes, of course, also with the voicing of the consonant, as it's typical of these final elements of compounds, strictly Japanese ones in particular. We've seen even some Chinese ones, but yeah, more commonly the Japanese ones, strictly Japanese ones. But yeah, kawa, so river, And yes, so we have all that part modifying kawa. And yes, so it's actually a relative clause. And it's worth mentioning that because that's why we have after nagare the particle no. Because the particle no can be used as a replacement for the particle ga, the subject particle, in relative clauses. And yes, so most likely again because if you think about it, a river which has we would add has in English a fast flow, or even better, of course, while sticking to a river that whose that has a flow fast, which is fast. But yeah, simply I wanted to mention that since it's not that strange if you think about it, that we use the particle no, the possessive particle is already used as a in an attributive function, of course, usually for nouns, before other nouns. But yeah, most likely it's because of that that we get this usage. But yeah, simply remember, no can be used as a replacement for ga in these relative clauses, like in this case. Last but not least, of course, we have da, the copula, and zo again. And yes, so as already mentioned, a river, it's a river with, we can adapt it in English, with a fast flow. Then we have the second part, Nonbiri shiteru to Pokémon no shashin o torisokonai soda. First and foremost, we have Nonbiri. Again, we have seen, I think we have already seen at least one or two of these adverbs ending in ri, usually accented on the syllable before the ri, so on the b, in this case, nonbiri, nonbiri. By the way, notice that the n before b is pronounced then as m, of course, because b is bilabial, and so also the nasal becomes bilabial, and so m. Yeah, nonbiri means at leisure, in a relaxed manner, in a carefree manner, quietly, peacefully. Can also be used by adding suru. We can make it a verb, which means to relax, to take it easy, to chill, because again, the adverb means at leisure, in a relaxed manner, and so on. So yeah, makes sense that by adding the usual verb suru to make literally to do, we get this corresponding verb. But yeah, and in this case, we actually have suru, as you can see. Not suru in its dictionary form, but shiteru. So first and foremost, we have to make the form. Unfortunately, suru is one of the completely irregular verbs, along with kuru. So we have to remember that its form is ste. And then we add ru. Actually, we would add iru, again teiru, so continuing action or state. And then the E is dropped, of course, to make it shorter. But yeah, the meaning is still the same. Then we have to. So, again, one of the forms of the conditional, also used in a temporal sense, and so yeah, literally just like in English, if or when. To is the one usually for the conditional closest to the zero conditional in English. So when the action of if the action of that the verb with to happens, then something the rest of the sentence inevitably happens. We'll see based on the rest if we have to it's better to translate it as conditional or temporal sense. Then we have, of course, Pokemon. Then we have no. In this case, actually the possessive particle of Pokemon, modifying the following noun, which is the usual shashin, the usual Chinese compound, which means photo, photograph, picture. Unaccented because it's a Chinese compound of two kanji. Then we have the object particle o, written as wo and pronounced as such in careful speech and also singing. But yeah, you'll often hear it as o instead. And then we have these tori sokonai. First and foremost, the tori in this case most likely would be the one, again, as usual, from toru. We quickly check though, because this is weird, to be completely honest. Could be also a combination of tori soko plus then nai, as in, again, as usual, the adjective, which means non-existent. Yeah, let's first and foremost check out that, because the tori is as expected. Okay, no, it's actually simply that so after that is the one we've seen before, and so because of that, since this is actually a verb, it's actually tori plus sokonau. I've seen, of course, the verbs on their own, but not as a compound, to be completely honest. Well, first and foremost, we have toru, which means to take. Usually with another kanji would mean to take photographs, pictures specifically, and this is the one we've seen more often than not in this, practically always throughout this series. But based on the kanji in the dictionary, and also makes sense considering then the meaning, it's actually the other one, the one which means to take in general. But yeah, lucky enough, doesn't particularly change because it still both mean to take, despite the specialization of the second one. Toru is accented in both cases. It's their verb, code verb. It's a verb, code verb in both cases. So we can change the U into I to make the corresponding to make the continuative form. In this case required because then we of course attach a second verb, and so we to make a compound verb. Second verb, which is sokonao, on its own would mean to harm, to hurt, to injure, to damage, and so on. By extension also to fail to do, to do amiss, to miss one's opportunity to do. And this is the usage when used as a suffix, actually as the second part of a verbal compound. The other meaning also in this usage is to almost do, to come close to doing. So yeah, again, we have from this extension of to damage, to spoil, we have either straight up to fail to do as the meaning, or to almost do. But of course, that means that it hasn't been actually done still. So still related to that, to fail to do. But there are these two meanings. And yeah, so we have this verb sokonao, accented by the way. And then we get, of course, this compound tori sokonao. Luckily also accented, just like sokonao on its own, which literally would mean to fail, to get, to obtain, to catch. By extension also to fail to win. Or more in general, by extension, to miss. Also as in to miss the meaning, and so to misunderstand as a further extended meaning. Yeah, the fundamental meaning is to fail to get, and so to miss. Again, just like sokonao, it's a verb, code verb, so we can change the U into I to make the continuative form. In this case, required to then add so, again, the auxiliary, which means it appears that, it looks like, and so on. So the appearance of something. As expected, since that auxiliary is an adjective, then we have the copula da. And yeah, so we can translate it. If I'd say in this case I implied if I'm relaxing, if I'm taking it easy, it looks like I will miss. So yeah, in English I'd say it's better to use actually a first condition in this case, but yeah, again, technically we have that also technically a zero conditional. But yeah, doesn't matter. It looks like or even better in English, could be even better. Well, we can keep it as first condition, so be closer still to the Japanese. If I am taking it easy, it looks like I will miss. We can stick to the literal meaning. I will fail to get the photos of Pokemon. So yeah, of course, if he takes it easy, if he relaxes, the risk is that he might not get, you might not get the photos of Pokemon, which is our purpose. And yeah, with that, we have explained, read, translated this. I'd say we can take our usual break now, so that when we are back, we can actually play this stage, this new course, this sixth course. And yeah, so see you in around 5 minutes as usual. And we are back. And yeah, we can now continue by playing the 6th course.
Yes.
Let's go. And yeah, as usual, our protagonist says Yos. Good, as in the exclamation, the older form of Yoi. Yeah, we have these Pokemon. First and foremost. Unfortunately, got only one. Too bad that I hit it. Try to get a better picture. Okay, maybe like this. Perfect. Yeah, first and foremost, I want to then get certain something here. Try to get the picture of the monkey here. Nice that. Got a Dratini. Unfortunately, I think I missed that, but yeah, doesn't matter since we'll have to be back anyway. Yeah, we have Geodude, Essential coming out of here by chopping the Geodude. Try to get a better picture of the... too bad that isn't great. We didn't see it here, but yeah. There was this Sandlash that was hiding if we look this way. But yeah, by dropping both Geodude, we dropped also the Graveler, and so the Sandlash. Oh boy, I'm running out of photos already. So honestly, it's not that it's a blessing in disguise that I didn't get what I could have got here. Yeah, that I would gladly taken. There are those Gravelers there, but unfortunately missed also that. Yeah, we'll be back, but would have been better to get more things now. Too bad. I want to keep some photos. Let's try by throwing enough Pester Balls here. We'll get a Dragonite. We'll keep just that photo. But yeah, what I want to do first and foremost is this. You have to be careful. Too bad. I think, yeah, I aimed unfortunately incorrectly. So we'll have to replay it also because of that, this course. But yeah, at least it will be an occasion for because we have this button here, and you have to do a certain something related to the Squirtle and the monkey on top. I want to see if I can get at the very least, no, not wasting my photos for the Magikarp and the Dratini, as we've got both of them. It might be a blessing in disguise because Oak might tell us about it this way. Might give us a hint. Oh yeah, we played the Valley course for the first time. Almost ran out of photos. And yeah, of course, now we have to check out, have to choose the photos and also check out the names of these Pokemon. Starting with Squirtle, called in Japanese Zenigame. First and foremost, we have, well, literally would be Zenigame is actually a word in Japanese, which means it's a baby spotted turtle. By the way, an accented Zenigame. an immature Japanese pond turtle or a young Japanese terrapin. So in general, a young turtle, a baby turtle. But it's interesting because the word comes from zeni, accent on the first syllable, zeni, which would mean it's the term for a coin, technically simply made of non-precious materials, more specifically and technically colloquially, a round coin with a hole in the center, a square hole. Yeah, so the typical Japanese coins you might have seen also in anime. And then we have game, actually from kame, accent on the first syllable, which is the Japanese word for turtle, also tortoise. So yeah, fundamental meaning turtle and similar tortoise. Of course, again, it becomes game with the voicing of the consonant and so the additional duck 10, because it's the second part of strictly Japanese origin in a compound, and that's typical. We have seen it happen more often than not for those. Yeah, so literally would be turtle, like a coin, and yeah, you might guess a coin. You can see why then it's the word for these baby turtles and so on. And yeah, so this is Squirtle's Japanese name. We have to now pick our picture. As usual, of course, I'd like to get one with where it's happy with the apples for the writing. Let's see if there is a difference compared to similar photos like that. We'll check that out in a second. We first get this picture of Magikarp, as a reminder, Koi Kingu, Carp King, literally. So again, ironic, just like Magikarp in English. Yeah, then we have Geodude, in Japanese called Ishitsubute. First and foremost from Ishi, which means, well, we check of course also its accent, but it means stone, rock, pebble. Yeah, the accent is accented on the last syllable, so Ishi was correct. By extension also jewel, because as a precious stone, even though there's a better, more specific word for it, but yeah, the fundamental meaning is stone in general. And then we have Tsubute, which is actually another word for stone, but this one specifically used for throwing. And yeah, so by having this combined stone in general and stone used for throwing, yeah, this is the Japanese name for Geodude. And so there's also this reference because with the arms and the hands, Geodude can throw rocks, can throw stones. By the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, the accent of Tsubute is unaccented. But yeah, so let's choose our picture. We have actually some pretty good ones. I'll try this one. I might be slightly bigger. Before checking these, I want to move on to the evolution, of course. The Japanese name for Graveler is actually unrelated to the one for Geodude, as it's Goron, which comes from Goron, or also I'd say, well, there's also that form, and by the way, you might guess why we have the species in Zelda games called Goron. But yeah, even more common than that, there is the onomatopoeia Goro Goro, like an accent on the first syllable as per the rule. Goro Goro, same meanings as Goron Goron. Can be used also for the rumbling of thunder, one's stomach growling. But yeah, it's also used, and that's of course the meaning that interests us, the rolling of something large and heavy. By the way, it's specified large and heavy because we have the voicing of the consonant go, because actually there is also the corresponding adjective with the unvoiced consonant koro koro, which is lightly rolling of a small and round thing. By the way, also accent on the first syllable. And yeah, the other meaning for koro koro, but we won't focus on them for now. But yeah, simply we have Goron from Goron Goron, simply with only once, and with the longer vowel to stylize it, of course. Have to choose one, not great either, but we go for this one. And yeah, now we can go back and check out Senshu, simply called in Japanese Sando. Of course, from English, sand. We check the accent in Japanese of Sando. By the way, usually when used as a word, well, can also be used for sand, and in all cases it's accent on the first syllable as expected, Sando. But yeah, more often than not it's used otherwise for abbreviations of words starting with Sando in English. Sandbox in computing, as a sandbox environment, usually test environment. Unfortunately, you can find there the accent of the full word. I'll try physical dictionary. Let's see. Yeah, I already got it here. Well, I'm actually close to it. Sando. Yeah, no, I actually can't find it here. keep it open in case I need it for the other word, because yeah, as you might guess, Sando is also an abbreviation of sandwich. The full word in Japanese would be Sando Ichi. So yeah, without a we, but yeah, because actually I wouldn't be surprised if at first it was actually we and then it simply changed because of the evolution of the Japanese language, because we is not used nowadays. And of course it wasn't reintroduced at the time. We've seen that the wa, we, well, not wow, of course, sorry. The we combinations of u and small e, u and then small e in katakana are way more recent. But yeah, and then of course we have the doubling of the consonant in Japanese, sandoichi. But yeah, that's the full word for sandwich. Actually accent on the i in Japanese, so sandoichi. But yeah, of course, often abbreviated in as sando simply, so sand, because it's way more practical, of course. And yeah, we have to choose one. Yeah, while there are better ones, I'll try to choose this one with the apple to see if we can get the usual being happy because of the apple. Even better would be the one where it's jumping, but yeah, we'll try that. The good news is that we get some points because of the additional censure in the background. But yeah, after that, of course, we have also sign slash. In Japanese, sando pan. First and foremost, again, sando, just like in Senshu's Japanese name. And then we have this pan, which you might guess it is from pangolin. Actually not the word used in Japanese, because they have their own words for that. But yeah, from English. At least that's what Bulbapedia mentions, but yeah, I'd say that's the safest guess. Yeah, then we have to choose one, of course. I'll try again. The one is really funny with the jumping one there. We tried this one where it's getting close to the... I think that's kind of risky in a way. We'll try this one. Again, not the best photos, but it's to try to get the additional writings. Yeah, we actually got Staryu, but unfortunately not what I wanted. For a certain something, we have to replay this stage anyway, because we haven't unlocked that gate at the end. But yeah, first and foremost, we have the name here, the Japanese name for Staryu, Hitode Man. Hitode. Actually, funny enough, it could have other meanings, but yeah, in this case, you might guess it. What does it have to do with Hito? And then de from te, hand. But yeah, that's one of the words pronounced hitode. Would be someone else's hands, someone else's possession. Also by extension, a hand worker, and so on. Also labor, or also help, assistance. I think we might have seen this in a previous series, but yeah. Hitode, unaccented. But yeah, this one is actually simply potentially also from simply in the literal meaning a person's hand, then applied simply to the kanji for to unrelated kanji because of its meaning. Yeah, because hitode actually, and it's still unaccented, so that it could be actually related, considering that. But yeah, written with completely different kanji, when written with the kanji usually written with kana alone nowadays, lucky enough. It means starfish. Maybe because they kind of look like hands in a way. Think of it like a hand with the fingers. Could be. But yeah, of course, in Stariu's case, it's hitode in the sense of starfish, sea star, and so on. And then we simply add man. And yes, so simply man, as in from English, accented, Japanese. As it says also here in on Bulbapedia, it could be a reference to Ultraman, and also well, Ultraman is the most famous one in Japanese. But yeah, simply those man as a suffix, like in that case. For such heroes. But yeah, we'll choose our Staryu. Not the best pictures, but we'll choose one. This one is closer, but it's risky. We'll try this one. Last but not least, well, I've actually missed something before it. Good thing, considering that it's actually related to that. Two things, actually. First and foremost, we have Mankey. Actually, just like in English, as you can see, man-key. And so yes, just like in English, from man and monkey. Man, again, accented on its own. Monkey would be in Japanese on its own monkey, of course. But first and foremost, because they don't have exactly the sounds like in English. And most likely also influenced by, well, of course, it also depends on the English variant on which it's based on, but even more so, most likely also the spelling, the writing, how you write it. It becomes O instead in Japanese. Monkey. Luckily accented, just like as expected on the first syllable. Monkey. Yeah, simply man and monkey. I will choose one, not the best pictures. Choose this one. But yeah, this one is quite important. That good thing we haven't actually seen it before, since we, as you have seen, our final picture is one of the evolutions. But yeah, here we have Dratini. And actually, it's quite close to the English name, although in reverse, because while of course in English we have Dra from dragon and then Tini from tiny, in Japanese we have Mini, Ryu, Mini, of course the prefix Mini, just like in English, accented on its own, Mini. And last but not least, we have Ryu. Ryu, which is the Japanese word. Actually, it's the Chinese pronunciation, but yeah, makes sense. And the most common way to call the name for dragons. Especially, of course, Chinese dragons. Ryu accented, by the way. So of course, because it's the syllable and the accent can stay on a longer vowel, the doubling of the consonant, the final n, it stays on the first syllable, on the first mora also. So you. Yeah, so as you see, Mini dragon in Japanese, with of course the Japanese Chinese reading for dragon, while the reverse in English. But yeah, we'll choose one. We actually got some nice ones technically. This one might be bigger technically, not sure about the... Well, we'll try it. Yeah, last but not least, and this time for real, we have one of its evolution, actually the final stage, Dragonite. Called in Japanese Kai Ryu. Ryu, of course, is again from the word for dragon, same. We have a new prefix in this case. Well, first and foremost, actually, Kairyu technically is present as a word. Would be technically, even though it's according to the dictionary actually a place name, would literally be sea dragon, because Kai is the Chinese reading of the kanji for sea. We've seen it on its own, or at least I mentioned it. Not sure if in this series or in a previous one. The strictly Japanese reading is Umi, accent on the first syllable, sea, and also ocean waters, but yeah, the fundamental meaning sea. So yeah, literally sea dragon. But yeah, then there are also other potential words from Kai. First and foremost, the most likely one, since it's also similar to the Ryu, then after it, Kaiju. You might have heard of it. It's a Chinese compound, and so likely unaccented, which means monster. Yeah, the typical, usually the typical giant monsters attacking Tokyo or Japan in general in movies and so on. We have also Kai, which with another kanji, which would mean is a noun, which means pleasure, delight, enjoyment. It's a Chinese reading, but yeah, it's a single kanji, is accented. That honestly makes even more sense considering its mega evolution, as we have seen recently with Legends ZA. Potentially, and this is also similar to the kaiju meaning, actually unrelated with its kanji, but related in meaning, because usually kaiju bring that. The other potential word is, according to Bulbapedia, Hakai, which means distraction. And yet another Chinese compound, lucky unaccented, and yeah, distraction. So the Kai of distraction. As a reminder, the episode in the Japanese anime with Dragonite, actually a really big one, and so definitely classifiable as a kaiju. Yeah, so we have all these potential meanings related to Kairyu. And yeah, we only have this picture, so we choose it. Okay, so we can go back. Well, first I wanted to at least keep one. Well, I want this funny, or even better, that one. Yeah, no, let's keep this one. I wanted to keep a couple of these jumping Pokemons. The Senshus and Senslash, even though we aren't showing those to the professor for the album. And yeah, I'd say that's enough for now. We can go to the professor and see what he has to say to us about these pictures. Get our points for them. Let's see if we can get some additional writings, of course, also. Yeah, not particularly big, but lucky enough to proceed. And yeah, we get a new writing. Not sure if we have seen it exactly. Well, of course, the second part, yes. But yeah, we'll quickly check it. The part in yellow, it says, "Oh, totemo yorokondoru zo." Yeah, again, "Oh," the exclamation. Yorokondoru, from Yorokonde Oru, abbreviated, contracted. It is rejoicing. Zo at the end, again, force, I'd say simply also emphasis. The only difference is that we have before it totemo an adverb, which we have definitely seen before, if not this very sentence, in general we have seen it before, potentially also in this very series. And yeah, it actually means very, as in awfully, exceedingly. Also with the negative, it becomes actually not at all, by no means, simply cannot. But yeah, the most common usage is in the affirmative, and so very. Can also be doubled the consonant of the temo. In both cases it's unaccented, but yeah, with the doubling of the consonant it becomes more emphatic, of course. Yeah, so simply the translation is, oh, it's exceedingly rejoicing. And yeah, then we get the technique luckily. And yeah, that's why I wanted to get, of course, that kind of picture to get the writings as usual. This one is better for size, but I'm doubt we'll get also the pose. I don't think we've actually seen this before. So honestly, I also don't remember if we've heard before Hawk say Otto. So actually we did pretty well when it comes to the technique, or at least we didn't get further to then not get it in other pictures because we got a bad size at first or a bad pose. But yeah, here it says 8 Pokémon が写真の真ん中に収まっていないようじゃな。First and foremost, we have this exclamation 8. Not to be confused with other words. The most common one would be otto as a noun, unaccented, which the noun which means husband. So yeah, not unrelated. This is to. Again, to at the end. So technically, the quotation particle, also used as we have seen for certain to make the adverb from certain nouns, but yeah, in this case literally it should be the quotation particle as with an o. As a reminder, the small tsu becomes also the doubling of the consonant of the following to, but if it were we didn't have the to like in the actual exclamation technically from which it's derived, would be the shortening of the vowel, so o. O. So becomes it ends abruptly. And yes, so we have this otto accent on the first syllable as expected, because the accent usually is before the to in these adverbs. These exclamations in this case, I'd also say. Yeah, so it means oh, oops, or sorry. I'd say more like oh or oops, literally. And yeah, then we have, of course, Pokemon. We have the subject particle ga. Then we have shashin, again photograph, picture, and accented, the possessive particle no. Then we have mannaka. We should have seen it before when we checked the technique, the correct technique. We have naka, again the usual, in this case inside, interior, middle, center. This is the meaning for, in our case, middle, center. By extension also from inside, interior, among, within. But yeah, this is center. Middle, center. And then we have this ma. Well, first and foremost, we have this ma, which on its own means unaccented, means truth. As a prefix, it means just, right, also pure, genuine, true, by extent, and yeah, you can guess from truth, true, and so also pure, genuine, with further extension, as in just, right. And so yeah, right in the middle would be literally, as you see, here we have this additional in the between them. In other cases, we have the doubling of the following consonant with the small tsu. But yeah, often with this, not always, but yeah, at the very least, often with this, when we add ma, we have this doubling of the following consonant. But yeah, so literally, it will be right in the middle. And so in translation, according to the dictionary, simply middle, center, midpoint, heart. Of course, as in the midpoint. But yeah, the fundamental, literally, just / right in the middle, in the center. Yeah, so that's why we use it here. Is an accent, by the way. Then we have ni. Again, the locative particle. In this case, in, because at, well, in would be the correct one. In exactly the middle, of course, required by that manaka. After that, we have a verb, osamatte, which means, well, the fundamental meaning is to fit into. Well, in our case, it's actually the meaning we have, because it could be to fit into a box, a frame, and so in our photograph, in our case, frame of the photograph. Also, because of that, to fit into, to be contained within, also to fall within, for example, a budget. Several extended meanings, but yeah, let's focus on this one, which is also the fundamental one. It's a verb code and verbs to make the form, like in this case we have to follow the rules. It's in rule, and so it becomes double consonant te, again, continuative form osamari te, then the e dropped, and so osamarte, difficult to pronounce, became a double consonant instead, osamatte. By the way, osamaru is accented. Don't think I mentioned it before. Yeah, we make the form in this case because it's actually required to then make again the teiru form. In this case, though, we have te in I. Iru is a ruverbicidam verb, so we can drop the ru and add nai, again the adjective, which means non-existent, used also to make the negative form of verbs. And yeah, so teiru form, continuing state or action, in the negative. It isn't fitting into the middle of right the middle of the photo. Then we have yo. We have seen it multiple times. It's a noun which would mean after form, style, design, way. Form, style, design when used after nouns, also by extension like, similar to. After verbs, way to, method of doing, but also by extension appearing, looking. It's a noun, and so after it we need the copula, and yeah, in this case we have it, we have già. Again, già, the one used by all characters in fiction, because yeah, Oki is speaking and he's old. Last but not least, the usual na. I'd say in this case, hey, or you know, so similar to yo. But yeah, the translation or oops. You know, the Pokemon isn't fitting into the very right the middle of the photograph. Yeah, so the requirement to get the technique bonus, the doubling of the points. And yeah, and so he says this then. Pokémon ga mannaka ni utsutte oreba yuko to nashi nanja ga na. First and foremost, we have, of course, Pokemon, then the subject particle ga. Again, we have mannaka, ni, so in the very middle, right in the middle, better in English. Then we have utsutte, from utsuru. We've seen it before in this series because it's related to photographs. There's one which is literally utsuru with a certain kanji, which is to be photographed, to be projected. The other one with the different kanji would be more to come out as of photos to be displayed on a screen. And in this case, I say simply literally to be photographed as the first one. Utsuru, either way, it's verb, code verb, so we have to follow the rules to make the te form. Again, it's in rules, so it becomes double consonant te. After that, we have oreba. So again, te oru, usual, again, continuing action or state. The only difference here is that we have oreba. Oru is also a verb, code verb. So if we can change the u into e and add ba to make this form of the conditional with ba. This one is the closer to the first conditional in English. If or again also when, so actually temporal. But yeah, we'll see, of course, when we translate. Then we have this yu, koto, nash. Wonder if I'll find it as a full expression, but of course, yeah, and I found it. Even though you can easily guess it because of its components. First and foremost, we have you, which is the verb which means unaccented, also pronounced as you, sometimes written as such also in writing, even though it's just to simulate the pronunciation. Yeah, you means to say. Other extended meanings, but yeah, the fundamental one is to say. Then we have koto, again the usual word which means thing as in matter, contrasting with mono, which is thing as in an object. Also used as a nominalizer for verbs. Literally would be the matter of saying. And then last but not least we have nash, actually a classical form of the adjective nai, again not existent, non-existent. And so literally would be non-existent thing to say. And so yeah, the meaning is it becomes well, in this case, in the dictionary, it says the meanings in the positive. Nothing one can say about something perfect, and so on. But yeah, in our case, clearly it's actually more in the negative sense, but we'll see it better in translation when we translate it fully. And then we have na, connecting that yu kotonashi expression to nja. Again, actually no da, no, in this case the nominalizer for verbs, similar to the koto we have just seen. Fact, ja, again the copula, and again, so it's a contracted form with the n instead of no of the expression no da. It is that, literally. The fact is that, the explanation is that, and so on. Then we have ga, which would be the conjunction, which means but, however, and so on, and yet, though, although, while. In some cases, it's actually used also as and. It's worth mentioning that in other contexts, it can also be used as an introductory remark or explanation. In this case, it's more like so actually, we get the meaning that the dictionary mentioned for yu kotonashi in that sense. My guess would be that this guy is the one you can find with the actual meaning but, however, at the end of a sentence, because it's actually implied that the sentence would continue, but the person speaking is refraining from actually saying the rest because it would be rude, and so it's simply implied. You see what I mean when we translate it soon enough. Yeah, then last but not least we have a final sentence particle, again as na, long in this case, but yeah. Again, in this case, I'd say as in as a hey or a look could be in the sense that used to get someone's attention or press one's point. Well, sorry, that's technically better at the start of a sentence. So yeah, simply maybe just like another yo. But yeah, the translation becomes if or also when the Pokemon is photographed in the right in the middle, there we would be in English. Well, even better, we can simply keep it as there isn't. There's nothing one can say. And so, yeah, in the meaning, as it mentioned, as it would be perfect. There's nothing one can say about something perfect. Well, it is that, and everything we have said, but, and it stops there. What's implied is, but that isn't the case for your photo. Of course, he isn't telling us explicitly that. But yeah, that's a usage you see often in Japanese with these sentences ending with this ga. Because there's actually the sentence could continue, but the speaker refrains from continuing it because you can understand what's implied by the context, and of course because it would be rude to point out that. So yeah, so literally it would be if it were in the middle of the photograph. If the Pokemon were photographed right in the middle, it would be there would be nothing to say. However, yeah, that and implied that isn't the case. And yeah, so we don't get the bonus. And yeah, we'll keep the old one. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't get. We can continue there. It's an Oshino, as Professor Ox said. So it's regrettable. It's disappointing. Unfortunate. Yeah, the Dratini, on the other hand. And yeah, we get this. Good thing I noticed it this time. In the middle of this writing, it says something new. Kore wa jampu shiteru no. Actually, I think we might have seen it before, but yeah, well, it's simple, so we quickly go through it. Kore, as usual, of the Kosoado series, close to both the speaker and the listener. Re, so the demonstrative pronoun. Then the topic particle wa written as ha. So as for this, as in this Pokemon, Jampu Storu no. Jampu, of course, from English, jump. Pretty sure it's accented. We've seen it, especially in the Super Mario Advance 4 series, and it is, just to be completely sure. Notice again the m pronounced as m, because then we have the p, just like in English, jampu. Of course, the additional u at the end, because we don't have p as an individual sound in Japanese. Jampu. Shitoru, again, shite-oru, contracted, so literally it is doing. Then it is no at the end, but yeah. This final sentence particle, which means as emphasis. And yeah, so we got this with 100 points. This one is in the middle. And yeah, we got a Subarashi, wonderful. We have Geodude. And yeah, nothing. Oops, and we actually didn't get the bonus. It wasn't right in the middle, according to Oak there, unfortunately. Barely got the size, lucky enough. Okay, yeah, unfortunately didn't count for the apple there. So only the regular 1000 points for the pose. Yeah, we get, of course, additional points because of the other Senchu. Subarashi. we have Graveler, decent. We have Sandslash, barely enough for the size. And yeah, then we got this. Well, similar to what we have seen before. I quickly translate it simply. We have O, Ureshi Soja no. Again, O, the exclamation, and then we have Ureshi So from Ureshi, to be happy. Yeah, it's the adjective. Notice that there are some adjectives simply in E, and also all these in C, E. Yeah, still E adjectives. There was a distinction in classical Japanese, but actually not in modern Japanese. Accented. And yeah, then as usual we drop the E at so, and so it looks like it's happy. By adding so, then we have to use the copula già, and then again no as the final sentence particle. So, oh, it looks happy because of the apple. And yeah, so as usual. And yeah, we got Subarashi. Yeah, we have our stereo. Nice for the pose, almost perfect. The doubling. Look at that. Really good. Almost perfect size and pose. And yeah, Subarashi. And yeah, with that we get our results in the Pokemon album. And yeah, good thing we actually missed that, as we get this additional reading. Hopefully it would be the same or similar, at the very least should be similar to the one we would have got if we didn't activate the switch also in the river course. Yeah, it says どうやらスイッチが怪しそう、怪しいようじゃの。First and foremost, we have this どうやら。From, well, first and foremost, ど again, one of the interrogative words from koso ado, the interrogative with the do. With this additional u and so long o, it becomes this way, that way. In our case, of course, in what way, and so how. Then we had this yara. We've seen it before. I think we've seen also this do yara overall. Yara on its own would be a particle. What with A and B, such things as A and B, and so on, A and B and the like. Can also denote uncertainty. And yeah, actually, that's why we get this do yara accent on the do, luckily, just like do on its own. So the first syllable. It means possibly, apparently, seemingly, seem likely, from that uncertainty of yara, or also somehow or other, from the other meaning of yara, A and B, such things as A and B. But in our case, I'd say apparently, is the correct translation. Then we have switchy in yellow, of course, switch from English. And by the way, luckily accented just like in English. Switch, and so on the E, switchy. Notice the doubling of the consonant. Then we have the subject particle ga. Then we have ISE, suspicious. We've seen it before in this very series, I think, with the pester ball description, Iayaboru in Japanese. ISE means suspicious, unaccented. Then we have again yo, and so appearing, looking like, it looks. Again, yo is technically a noun, and so questa è copula già in our case, and then again no. And so yeah, apparently the switch, we don't have of course the article in Japanese, looks, appears, looks suspicious, the suspension dots. And then last but not least we have Gambaru no ja toru, and of course we have Gambaru again, to persevere, the fundamental meaning, and so to persist, to keep at it, to do one's best. Yeah, I'd say in our cases usually to do one's best in this series. Literally Gambaru, again, to stick stubbornly. Then we have again no ja, and so actually no da. It is that. Then we have the comma, and then the name of our protagonist, Toru. And so yeah, simply keep at it, Toru. Do your best, Toru. Yeah, better. Do your best, Toru. And yeah, so we got our hint. Ohayo gozaimasu. Yeah, unfortunately we are about to end the stream because it's as usual 11 p.m. here in Italy, so I don't want to disturb my neighbor. But yeah, we have just finished this. We played the 6th course, went through the camera check, the Professor Ox check. We got a hint because I failed to do what I was supposed to do. And yes, so we can now actually save the game this time. Actually, save it in-game. We do so. And yeah, so we'll exit, we'll go back to the title. I'll quickly also save the save state here. I want to quickly go back here just to check, of course. Although it should work properly. And yeah, perfect, as expected. We have it also here, and yeah, we can go back to the title. Because here. And yeah, as I was saying, today we have done the Professor Ox check for the 5th course, because we didn't have time last time. After that, we have unlocked the 6th course, the Valley. We played it. I wasn't able to do what I was supposed to do there, so we'll have to replay it. But the good news is that by doing so, after of course going through again the camera check and Professor Ox check, we got a hint, so we got to see it this time, unlike previous time. And yeah, so next time we'll replay the 6th course. Hopefully this time actually do that, what I was supposed to do. And so activate the switch. Before that, since we finally saved, we'll also check more of the options, if not all of them. But yeah, we'll definitely replay the 6th course, hopefully do what we are supposed to do, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, and of course you can watch this episode at what we have done also because thanks to the VOD as usual. Yeah, next time should be on Friday, we'll do all that. Yeah, okay, see you next time.